A third of the people love you, a third don't care about you, and a third hate you. So you concentrate on the third that love you and you go for it.
I think the greatest Achilles heel for leaders is they don't give themselves time to think.
So my journey is one of those, like, there are a lot of detours. There's a lot of going off on the side roads.
Thrive Out listeners, you're in for a treat. We're here with Jamal Mashburn, Jesse Itzler, the John Maxwell,
Jackie the Joke Man Martling, New York Rangers great Mike Richter,
Lisa Lampanelli,
Mary Carrillo.
Oh, how nice.
I'm actually going through the practice of being an entrepreneur.
Pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and thrive loud.
Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
I love it.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond.
Start spreading the news.
Connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. Today on Thrive Loud, we have two women with a shared vision to normalize the way we approach digestive health so that we can empower individuals to have a better relationship with their gut health. Their company, Moxie Health, is a digestive health movement that is soon to become the go-to resource and marketplace for all things around digestive health and the platform for an engaged community to share their experiences and take back control of their bodily functions. Thrive Loud listeners, learn what happens when two women cut through all the crap, connect, and live and breathe their purpose each and every day as we bring to you the founders of Moxie Health, Sarah Dakh and Louise Macnab. Sarah and Louise, how are you today?
We're great. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Yeah, we should carry you around to all of our business meetings. How do you feel about that?
I almost, sometimes I feel like the guy in those wrestling matches or boxing matches, let's get ready to rumble.
Right.
Well, maybe we could use this outtake from this Thrive Loud episode to do that with music, of course. Oh, there'll be music.
Yeah.
Right.
As I mentioned in the opening, you two do have an interesting story. I think our listeners want to hear more about it. So if you could, and introduce yourselves as to our listeners as to who's who, so that they can both distinguish these lovely accents. So we can understand first how the two of you came to meet. And I think that will be our kick point. So Sarah, you go first, and then.
Yes. Okay. So I'm Sarah, and I am Australian, and I relocated to New York about 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was spring 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I guess you can. And how did you meet? And Louise, how did you guys meet?
Yeah. So, I'm Louise. So, yes, Sarah and I both moved to New York at the same time, but separately. So, Sarah from Australia, she just said, and myself from Europe. And we actually met on Bumble BFF. And so we had our first date. And instantly we connected over this shared passion that we realized we had for health and wellness, and kind of just from moving to New York and realizing that even simple things like the produce that we were buying was different, and the kind of immediate impact we were noticing that it had on our digestion. So we started talking about health, and then I think, as our bond grew, Sarah felt comfortable to share about her recent diagnosis of a serious chronic condition.
It's called ulcerative colitis.
Mm-hmm.
It's an inflammatory bowel disease. And previous to this conversation with Louise, I definitely found it a hard conversation to have, very challenging, because it can be quite embarrassing with the symptoms involved with ulcerative colitis. So there's a lot of fear of judgment around having a diagnosis like this. But once I opened up to Louise, we realized that,
Yeah, we kind of had a similar story. So even though it was maybe on different ends of the spectrum of gut health, I also was suffering from issues. I'd been working for years as a corporate attorney, which had led me to burnout. I had hormonal imbalances, leaky gut. So we were discussing this kind of journey that we were on, and then we we realized that there were some real similarities that we'd kind of experienced, this discussing or suffering from a stigmatized condition, a lot of frustration I think we really both found about finding really relatable educational information.
Right.
And then that kind of led us to this light bulb moment as we became better friends and started becoming more comfortable with each other. We thought, look, we've both been through this. There's obviously a gap in the market here. Why don't we create something that we've missed out on? And this is where, we decided to create a business model that really focused on this integrative approach to digestive health.
So this is, Louise, this is awesome. I'm sorry for jumping in here. I wanted to get this because this is great. I think what you guys mentioned here, what Sarah's point is, the uncomfortableness, not only of the physical situation you're going through, but talking about the uncomfortable situations that you're going through is a challenge that a lot of people have, and not just in specifically digestive health, but in lots of different areas. We've heard about this, but there is such power in that commonality of this uncomfortable conversation. And I think what's brilliant about the two of you, and I've had the good fortune to meet both of you, and that is that you both gel like you've been friends forever, not just in the short window of time here in New York, but the passion that you have to bring others to the table for this conversation is really smart. Can you share with the listeners a little bit about, what you envision Moxie Health and this platform to be to everyone?
So, as you explored already, Moxie is a gut health movement, and we're really focusing on obviously changing the conversation about digestive health. And from our personal experience, we've recognized that people are way too ashamed to talk about their bodily functions. And I mean, I get it. Like, over coffee, that's the last thing you want to be talking about with a girlfriend is what's going on in the toilet. First date, exactly. So this conversation, it definitely ends up on the back burner. But what we've actually done is we've built an online forum which has created a safe space for people to come on, share their stories, and ask questions. And what we really love about this forum is that it's established a trust system with our community, and that's important for us because we also want to educate them about the value of an anti-inflammatory lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in with that, and that's actually really important, we're not just in providing a place to go and obviously chat about these issues, but you're also providing a tremendous amount of information as well. Can you share with the listeners what's brought to the table, what they can interact with at Moxie Health so they can understand it isn't just about here are some diet choices, but you're looping in a much larger community of other people to really provide professional opinions, content, et cetera, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So we work with experts in the field, and that can be anybody from functional practitioners to even people. I mean, stress is a very important contributor to inflammation. So whether it's a Reiki master, whoever. So we interview individuals, and we talk about specific topics, mostly regarding inflammation, because that is the root cause of most disease. And I think, what people don't realize, gut health isn't just, SIBO or IBS. It affects everybody, even if you don't have digestive health problems, whether that's if you've got asthma or
arthritis,
exactly.
Alzheimer's, dementia, everything starts in the gut, and people aren't really aware of this yet. And we're really trying to emphasize the value of focusing on a complete anti-inflammatory lifestyle. And by that, we mean exercising regularly, getting a good night's sleep, making mindful practices to de-stress the body from external stresses, say your career or family life, home life, whatever that is. all of this aggravates inflammation and then can target any weakness in the body. So, Lou, say if you were a sports star growing up, right, and you had a damaged knee from being a sports star, and it progressively got worse and worse to the point that it became arthritis. There are actually many things that you can do between the pain and the arthritis to prevent the oncoming of arthritis, and that's specifically through diet and lifestyle. So this approach can definitely help almost everyone that's dealing with any type of bodily issue, even skin issues, even acne.
Yeah.
It's just and the more information we find,
it's just incredible.
Yeah, it's just overwhelming, and it's just and it seems so simple as well, and it just surprises me that it's taken so long for society to recognize how important our diet and lifestyle actually is.
And I totally agree with you that it's the diet, it's the combination, but it's also, by the way, and addressing a topic that is uncomfortable to talk about. And I want to talk about the tactics that you guys have come out with, which we've spoken about in person. We're going to share with the listeners here. Even the language that you use to say this, a movement that gives a crap about digestive health. Talk about all the different plays that you've had on this, because I actually think that, obviously, look, there's lots of uncomfortable things to talk about, but the directness or almost lighthearted humorous is certainly intentional. Can you share that a little bit? Either one, Louise or Sarah.
So, I mean, for me, it all started when I spoke. I opened up to another female, actually, about my digestive health issues, and she referred me to a nutritionist who has helped me heal my UC into remission. And I addressed this with Louise, and I said, look, there's something in starting the conversation, because as soon as I do start the conversation with people, I'm finding out information that wouldn't have otherwise been explored if I didn't start something. And so through that, we launched a campaign, which is on our website, which I'm assuming you're talking about. It's called "What Does Your Poo Say About You?"
Yes.
And it is literally a video of Louise and I sitting on the couch talking about our poo. And this is where it all starts, right? I mean, what is coming out of your body is a clear indication as to whether you are healthy or not. And the process leading up to what is coming out of your body is a clear indication. So that's where the conversation really starts. I mean, you don't necessarily need to sit down and say, hey, what did your poo look like today? But
I mean, that is one of our pillars at Moxie, about being transparent. So we thought, you know what, we've got to practice what we preach. So we decided to interview each other about our poo.
Yeah.
So this is kind of funny, by the way, because I'm going to bring something up. You know, I've been a parent for many years, and I remembered the early ages of when the baby was born, and all the conversation was about the consistency of the poop of the baby. And this became a normal conversation that you literally would do. There's been comedy sketches about it. And obviously, as we get older and we're talking about our own poop as opposed to somebody analyzing your own, it becomes a much more personal situation.
Yeah, right.
I just love the way you've gone with the whole, it takes guts to start a new way of doing this. It's even the name Moxie. All of this is really forward thinking. And I think what's kind of interesting about this is that you're tackling it from an uncomfortable situation. What's even more unique is that you're asking people to open up and talk about their poo as much as possible.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten tired talking about it?
That's like our favorite. Seems to be all we talk about these days. But you know what, Lou? It's actually been, I mean, from my background, I came from quite a conservative background, you know, and ladies, you know, shouldn't talk about poo or farting, and that's not very ladylike, you know, and that's something that was definitely very much ingrained in me. But then when I met Sarah and we started talking, and then that gave me more confidence, and even just indirectly speaking with people and speaking about what Moxie is, it's just been incredible. Both of us have experienced this. And then at the end of the conversation, you know, someone will say to us, "Oh, actually, I have IBS, or I have that." And you can tell that they've just, through this conversation, they've just had the courage to actually to open up and to speak about it for the first time. And that's so motivating for us. That has really inspired us just to see that, even just from the beginning when Moxie just first launched, just to see that initial impact that it had on people face to face was amazing.
I've had close friends for years who have been dealing with digestive health issues, and I had no idea until we launched Moxie. Mm-hmm. And now they're coming to us for advice and guidance in how to deal with specific problems. So it's been really empowering for not only our community, but also for us.
Yeah, for a better... My mum, Lou, my mum opened up to me when I was back in summer for the first time that she has issues. Yeah, and I'd never known this about her. And it's only when I was telling about Moxie. It's incredible.
So it's bringing us closer to people.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
It's great. By the way, the listeners have to love the fact when I met them the first time, it was like two different people with the same brain working together, and you can hear how they talk in the same way. It's wonderful that it's brought you closer together, and it's bringing other people closer together.
It is.
Minds, because this is an entrepreneurial effort. In becoming close friends and finding a cause to come together, I wanted to ask what it's been like to work together. That's different than obviously just talking about stuff together. You want to share the experience, because the entrepreneurial journey, when you have partners and people working together with a common cause, it is, everyone's got their different skill sets and things like that. What has that relationship been like in figuring out who does what and getting Moxie off the ground?
Well, conveniently enough, Louise and I share very different skill sets when coming to the table. So that's definitely really helped establish what Louise is taking control of and what I take control of. There's obviously areas where it overlaps, but I think with my previous experience in being in the startup world and Louise's experience as being an attorney, we've managed to effectively communicate with each other when we do have our differences. So she'll explore her opinion about something and I'll explore mine. And at the base, we know that it's not about us and our opinion. It's about what's best for the business and how to make it grow to what we want it to be. So as long as you put the business and the values of the business in front of your own opinion, then you can effectively grow as a team.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. And obviously, I mean, it can be difficult. I mean, we both got very strong personalities, but as Sarah said, I think first of all, we both trust each other, and we trust, and by trust, I mean, I trust Sarah's opinion. I trust that she only wants what's best for the brand, and so I know, and we share the same vision as well. So I think we always, of course, I mean, it's normal. We have discussions, but we always so far, so far so good.
So far so good.
It's been a dream, actually.
So I love asking guests on this program, because here at Thrive Loud, we have people that are thriving in their lives, their businesses, and their passions, and this literally fits all three of what's going on here. And with all of that, though, we don't always have the best days. We're sometimes not necessarily firing on all cylinders. When either of you has trouble thriving, who or what practice do you seek to get yourself back on the thriving track?
Do you mean by motivate, like Moxie motivated, or just like motivated in life in general?
Either way. And you probably each have your own practices on what you do to get yourself back on to thrive again. So you're off. So what do you do when you're having that off day to get yourself back?
Yeah, mine's actually, this is going to maybe sound a bit antisocial. So I just like to take time to myself, and I practice meditation. That's really helpful for me. But just to take time from just people and just get connected back to myself and just re-energized. That helps me.
I think sorry. Oh,
no, and you. I was saying, and Sarah.
Okay. For me, if I'm overwhelmed or feeling unmotivated, I generally pick one thing that I really want to do for Moxie that day. So if it's writing an article or finding content for the Instagram or establishing a new relationship with someone that I'd like to interview, then I focus on that.
I love it.
Because there are some days where you do feel unmotivated or uninspired or whatever it is, but as long as you can focus on at least one thing that makes you feel better about progressing forward, then I guess that's all that really matters for that day. And then the next day, you go on and do whatever. But yeah, that's how I do it, I would say.
Let's do the admin part of the show right now. If either one of you or both of you, because you guys both can speak excellently on either end of the coin here, share with the listeners all the places people can learn more about Moxie Health and where they could find you, websites, URLs. We will put it all in the show notes. However, it's always better when they hear it from you.
Okay, so our website is Moxie, MOXIE.health. Health is spelled HEALTH. I'm just clarifying that because I have issues with my accent sometimes and people understanding me. And our Instagram is the same. It's Moxie, MOXIE.health, HEALTH.
Oh, you spelled it out again.
Yes.
Making it super easy.
In case it changes.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It's exactly
Nobody's
the same.
screwing
So, yeah, and our Instagram is very active. We have ample information about digestive health, and we're always recommending new products, brands, food groups, supplements, you name it. And then our website also has the forum on it, which is great for people who want to explore
and then the full interviews with the experts and also with our community as well.
There's a lot of activity going on. So, it's exciting space to be a part of.
so, and it's great because, you and I, we've all had this conversation, the three of us, in that this is for, I guess, any of the erectile dysfunction world. We talked about Roman, how this is almost that aspect of this. And it's such a brilliant idea because these are the uncomfortable conversations that people want to start having. And I love, and the name is just brilliant. So we do love it. And we will make sure we share all the links around Moxie to make sure everyone gets it.
Thank you.
I wanted to dive down some of the fun, not that we haven't been having fun the entire time here. Some of the,
we can tell you some poo stories.
Yeah, let's get this party started. Yeah.
We could get there. In fact, I think I'm going to open myself up to this, but let's do this. Let's go through what we call Fun Street here on Thrive Loud and tap into some of the favorites. Okay, first of all, I'm going to get the favorite question here on Thrive Loud, the signature one. What is your all-time favorite movie? And I imagine each of you has your own. So, Sarah, you go first. What's your all-time favorite?
Yeah, so I chose the movie Spotlight. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not.
Very familiar with it. Won the Oscar, Best Picture, yes.
It was such a great movie. I'm a copywriter, but I've always been fascinated by investigative journalism. And at the time that it was released, I was running a very controversial online magazine, actually. So I felt like I could relate to a lot of what was going on in their lives in regards to researching and establishing this case against the Catholic Church. So it was, a really, really good movie, really moving for me.
Sarah, the scariest scene in that movie is when they finally get the attorney to have the list of names to say which one of these were ones that they listed, and he circles the whole page.
The whole list.
And you just, your heart just stops to say, can you imagine learning that the first time? And then how many more phone calls came in? So,
I know, and at the very end, they broadcast the list through the credits, just before the credits, and there were towns and cities in Australia that have been affected by this this entire case, and it was just it made it so relatable because these towns were literally an hour away from my hometown, so it was very confronting but amazing story,
and not too surprising in the sense of one of a pair that likes to open up about uncomfortable conversations in a movie that addresses that matter. Just didn't, I don't know if you thought about that. So Louise, your turn. What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is a film called The Hours. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it also won a few Oscars. It was with, there was Meryl Streep, Julianne Moore, Nicole Kidman, and it followed three women living in different eras, but they were all searching for meaning in their lives. And it really resonated with me. There was this one particular scene with Meryl Streep, and she was talking about happiness. And she was basically, you know, she was saying that one morning she woke up at dawn and there was such a sense of possibility. And then she says, I remember thinking to myself, this is the beginning of happiness. This is where it starts, and there will always be more. And she continues, you know, it never occurred to me. It wasn't the beginning. This was happiness. This was the moment right then. And then after that, I just started crying, because I think it's, you know, it goes to that, just, you know, live in the moment. It was a real beautiful and poignant point that for some reason really just resonated with me. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful movie.
Which is something that you're doing right now and living in the moment. Again, exactly. Look at this. I love asking the movie question when it all it really does work, this movie question. It's all pointed and purposeful.
I love it.
All right, so I'm going to go there. We're going to have a fun conversation, because in the spirit of talking about openness of this topic, I'm going to open up and we're going to have this conversation here. I want to know from you guys what an embarrassing poo story.
You want one from us?
I want one for you. And
oh my goodness, Lou. I haven't been asked this question yet, but I definitely have one, and I don't know if I should share it with you. Oh my goodness, should I share it? I'm already embarrassed. Okay, should I share it?
I mean, you shared it with me, and it did definitely.
It's
brilliant. It's absolutely hilarious.
It's so funny.
So bring it on, and this is what this show is all about: is thriving loud. So we are definitely stepping out of our comfort zone here.
Oh my goodness, I'm shaking. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So just before I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, my symptoms were quite aggressive, and I had just fallen into a new relationship with my now husband, and it was the honeymoon phase. So this is the phase where you don't hear each other burp, fart, or even breathe, you know, like life is perfection. And unfortunately, in my case, that wasn't the situation. And on one particular, so I was staying in Miami at his parents' apartment, and his mum, she has a specific interest in the color white. So the entire apartment, floors, everything, you name it, was white. Even her walls are white with beautiful crystals. Anyway, you get the picture. So
yes.
White. So one night, it was probably like maybe 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, and I woke up with this urgency to go to the bathroom. And so I beelined it for the toilet, and on the way, I thought I felt something happen, and I wasn't sure what it was, but I just kept running because I didn't have time to even think. Went to the toilet, did my business, went back to bed, and I woke up the next morning. I'm like, something definitely happened while I was running to the toilet. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm going to get up and have a look just in case. Steve hadn't woken up yet, so I was like, this is like the safe time to get up and check. Oh God. I walk into the bathroom. I walk into the kitchen out of all places, and of course I had dropped something on the way to the toilet.
Awesome. Spectacular.
You did ask.
So you asked, and I delivered, and of course I cleaned it up, and I did not say anything to him for months. I was so mortified. And then one morning he was embarrassed because he had accidentally peed on my bathroom floor in the middle of the night.
And then it was chance to open up.
Exactly. And I said, look, don't worry, darling, I've done a lot worse. And I told him, he's like, I have to tell mum and dad. And I said, I swear to God, if you tell them, I will kill you, honestly. So now the whole world knows.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's my embarrassing story.
I'll say this. And here's the best part, is that it feels like it's embarrassing, but you're right. Even just talking about it, it is what it is. Every single human being on this planet has had an embarrassing situation in their life. Running to the bathroom, I've had one. Did not make it.
You didn't make it.
I was in a car. Thought I can get home in time. Where it was 2 feet from making it to the thing, and it did not successful. It just was not going to happen. And it's all happened to all of us. And I think this, by the way, is important, because what you're addressing is addressing these things, is embarrassing they might be, but it's all, these are sometimes real problems from stuff that people have that are much more serious from where things are, and being able to address it and at least understand all the things that you guys educate about inflammation and all the things about diet and the way to deal with these things end up making, these situations more tolerable. I want to ask you a question, people who've connected with you guys, if there has been that moment where you knew that this platform that you've created has helped someone else, and how that's felt to you too?
Yeah, totally. So I have a girlfriend who's she's quite overweight, and it was at the point where she was actually feeling a lot of pain in her stomach every time she ate, and it didn't matter what she ate, she would just feel constant pain. And she finally, after we launched Moxie, she came to me and said to me, Sarah, I'm feeling this awful pain in my stomach. It doesn't matter what I eat. And I said to her, look, let me write you out a diary of everything that you should and shouldn't be eating. And it was like a comprehensive 5-page list of the most appropriate anti-inflammatory lifestyle specifically tailored to what problems she was having. And within weeks, she had results. And that was just such an empowering, rewarding feeling for me, knowing that the information that I've learned through sitting with these professionals actually has some merit to it. And she's lost weight since, and her stomach is no longer as inflamed as what it was. So does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay,
and
cool. Yeah.
Louise, bring this home, and
Yes.
Sarah, you could opine as well. I was going to say is what you're looking forward to most in 2020 for Moxie Health, and where the direction of things are going for the company.
You take this one.
Gosh, well, we're super excited. We have big plans. So right now, we're growing our community. We've got all this incredible information that we're sharing, and we're excited that we're going to be launching our first product in 2020. I don't know if we haven't officially said exactly what it is, but it's directly targeting inflammation. And we've got, we're very happy. We've got an incredible team behind us working on this. So we're so excited for it to drop in 2020.
Yeah.
To drop. Perfect. You couldn't wait for another one of those.
There we go.
As we've been saying, Moxie Health, it's a movement, literally.
Exactly.
Louise, Sarah, before we go here, do you guys have a song that you guys love to hear, that you guys like to rock out to, or maybe each of you have your own, the one that you like to get yourself back on, get yourself.
Yeah.
And you have a song right now?
I do. It might be, it might be a little surprising, but I'm actually a big fan of gangster rap.
Okay, keep going.
So anything I can think. So maybe either one is Dr. Dre next episode, or secondly, Fat Joe Lean Back, if you're familiar with that masterpiece. I can rap every single word. So.
Oh my God. You know what? Just as we were unable to mic drop after Sarah's story, I think Sarah, you don't even need to opine anymore. I think she's hit the road here, Louise. Oh my goodness.
Can you sing the chorus for us?
I can do the Remy Ma everything. Next time we come on, that will be our
next
intro.
time you come on, that'll be the intro.
Me doing
all right.
it, yeah.
All right, well,
Mine's so cliche. Oh my goodness. So I would have to pick New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. I have been obsessed with that song ever since I was a little girl.
Manifestation.
Yeah.
Well,
inspired by my beautiful grandparents who I love dearly, and I've been listening to it ever since, and now I'm in New York singing the song. So
love it. Sarah Dakh, Louise Macnab, this is awesome. I can't wait to hear more about what Moxie Health is going to be doing. I think you guys are on the precipice of something great and big, and you got two great people here that should be very proud of what you've already done and what's coming ahead. So I think our listeners really appreciate the two of you. I wanted to thank you both for coming on Thrive Loud today.
Thank you so much, Lou. Thank you.
We've really enjoyed chatting with you and sharing vulnerable stories.
It's awesome. And to all our Thrive listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
Everybody, what? Come on, I said my niggas don't dance, they just pull up a pants and do the rock away. Now everybody, what, ladies? On to the easy, my own stay breezy.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond.
Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and check us out on the web at thriveloud.com or follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud.